Tyrese Haliburton continues to prove everyone in the NBA wrong, because in just 5 short games, he was able to help lead Indiana past the Milwaukee Bucks, past Giannis Antetokounmpo, and into the second round of the playoffs, where they're set to match up against the number 1 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers. A series in which I believe that Indiana can come out on top if Tyrese Haliburton continues to play at this level. He has been phenomenal throughout the playoffs. And yes, you could look at the stat sheet and notice that maybe his points are a little below average from what you would like to see from a superstar, but he does more than just score for the Pacers. Sometimes it feels as though the people covering this game, the only attribute they care about is scoring, and whether you can put that ball in the basket at a consistent rate. And while yes, it is a very important piece to this game, they don't seem to ever praise the players that excel at anything other than scoring as much as they should. And that's where a guy like Tyrese Haliburton comes in. Because some will say that Tyrese Haliburton's biggest weakness is his lack of aggression on offense. There will be games where he is just dribbling the ball down the court, and instead of going out and seeking his own shot, or taking advantage of the smaller defender on him, or using the open space around him to create, he'll just dump the ball off and pass it to a teammate. It also doesn't help that he lacks the physicality needed to be the primary ball handler, which gets him into pressured situations that results in more turnovers. But it's not only that for Tyrese, because of course, there's also the fact that he lacks that dribble to drive explosiveness needed from your point guard, who's also 6'5". He is bigger than most of the guards guarding him, and he just doesn't take advantage of that fact. He's 185 pounds, he's 6'5", he's long, he's lanky, and yet he just plays like he's a smaller guard. For why, I couldn't tell you. Maybe someone in Tyrese's inner circle needs to let him know that he's already hit his growth spurt and has to start playing like it. Now, the last major critique I want to get to on Tyrese Haliburton before we move on to the good is his inconsistency, especially when it comes to shooting. There were not 1, but 2 games this season where Tyrese Haliburton finished with 0 points. And it wasn't because of a lack of minutes, because in those games, he was averaging about 25 minutes a night, and yet he ended the games with 0 points. And there were multiple stretches throughout the season where he'd go on these 5-game streaks of scoring less than 20, which might not sound bad, but again, he is the Pacers' star, and when he doesn't perform from the field, especially shooting, the Pacers lose those games. He's averaging nearly 14 shot attempts a night, and yet he's struggling, absolutely struggling, to get to that 20-point mark. Don't believe me? Well, the Pacers' record when Tyrese Haliburton scores 20 or more points this season was 25-3. That's a win percentage of 89%. And this is a team that ended the season with 50 wins, their first 50-win season in 11 years. And imagine how many more wins they could have had if Tyrese Haliburton could shoot the ball more consistently. I do think that is one of his major negatives. However, he has far more positives that I will get to in a second. But for right now, I wanted to remind you guys to slow down, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000, and every subscription is greatly appreciated, so please subscribe. Now, all of those flaws in Tyrese Haliburton's game is exactly why he was voted as the most overrated player in the NBA in an anonymous player poll put together by The Athletic. There were about 90 votes casted in this poll, and 14% had Tyrese Haliburton as the most overrated player. That is a majority of your peers who believe that you aren't as good as the media portrays you to be. And even then, I think that's outrageous because the media is already constantly hating on this guy. Tyrese Haliburton just doesn't really fit the mold of the type of player that the NBA media likes to push. Instead of being great and efficient at shooting from the field or inside the arc, what he does well is has exceptional court vision, is one of the best playmakers in the NBA, and you can see it in his assist numbers. I think somebody that also falls in this category is a guy like Trae Young. Trae Young and Tyrese Haliburton are very similar when it comes to their strengths, because what Tyrese Haliburton is great at is being a highly effective facilitator and a master of the pick and roll. No one can do it like Tyrese can on offense, and that's probably why his assist numbers have been so high throughout the entirety of his career. Now, 2025 hasn't been very kind to Tyrese, as all his numbers have taken a bit of a step back. And yet still, he is averaging 9.2 assists per game, and just a year ago, he was averaging 10.9. beautiful numbers, and he's still doing this while scoring 18.6 points per game and 3.5 of rebounds. He does it all on the basketball court. Hell, he gets 1.4 steals per game too. So it's not like you just need to be a great scorer to be a superstar in this league. Sure, his scoring has taken a step back as he is only shooting 47% from the field and 38% from the three-point line. And when you consider just how bad Tyrese Haliburton is at shooting, his three-point percentage becomes all the more impressive, because at his peak, he was averaging 41% from the three-point line, and he did this for multiple years. Tyrese Haliburton is a two-time All-Star. He's made an All-NBA team, and he knows what it takes to win, because just a year ago, he helped the Pacers get to the Eastern Conference Finals, where sure, they got swept by the Boston Celtics, but 3 of those games ended with a loss that was less than 5 points. It could have easily gone the other way in the series, and I think they are going to change that this season. Now, another important piece to emphasize when talking about Tyrese Haliburton's strengths is his transition game. He's one of the strongest transition players in the league, and he's known for his ability to create on the fast break, which is why the Pacers play at such a fast tempo, and his finish at the rim is exquisite. Now, the reason I love Tyrese Haliburton on the Pacers is because the Pacers are one of the few franchises in the NBA who know how to build around their superstar. Instead of just trying to add as many good pieces as possible, or whoever the best available is, we'll go out and get players whose job it is to fit around Tyrese Haliburton, and that's what makes their offense work so well. They know that Tyrese Haliburton is a great facilitator, so then they go out and they get complementary pieces like an Andrew Nembhard. He's a great backcourt partner alongside Haliburton, and then they got Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner. Those are perfect fits as well due to their ability to space the floor. The Pacers have handcrafted this team specifically to meet the needs of their star, Tyrese Haliburton. And we saw this in their 5-game series against the Milwaukee Bucks. And in that series, I would say that Tyrese Haliburton played fairly well, especially when you consider the expectations that people had for him going into this game. They didn't expect much from Tyrese Haliburton. They didn't expect anything at all because he had been considered overrated. There was a lot of negative attention surrounding him heading into these playoffs, and he went out and proved everyone wrong. He had 10 points in Game 1, sure, not the best, but he also had 12 assists and 7 rebounds with only 1 turnover. And then Game 2, this is where Tyrese Haliburton steps it up. He has 21 points, 12 assists again, 5 rebounds, and only 1 personal foul. He knows how to keep his hands to himself. He shot the ball very efficiently in Game 2. Game 3, the Pacers did lose to the Milwaukee Bucks, but again, you can drop a game here and there and still be dominant in the series. That is what happened here. And then Game 4 and 5, the Tyrese Haliburton show continues. Game 4, you had 8 rebounds, 15 assists, and 17 points from Tyrese Haliburton. He's damn near averaging a triple-double for the Pacers in this playoff series. And Game 5, Damian Lillard out for the season, torn ACL. Giannis is fighting to keep his team alive, and they blow a lead. Why did they blow a lead? Because they couldn't stop Tyrese Haliburton for shit. He had 26 points, and the point that mattered most, with a buzzer-beater shot over Giannis Antetokounmpo. He put the ball exactly where it needed to be. And yes, his 5 rebounds and 9 assists in the game were also a nice touch. But I'm telling you right now, if Tyrese Haliburton was inconsistent like he was in the regular season, the Pacers might not be walking away after 5 games. I can't wait to see what they do against the Cavaliers. I believe that they can take them down, but that's a video for the future. For right now, I think I've said everything I wanted to, so I'll catch y'all later. Much love. Deuces.